Hey everyone, welcome back to the Niche Pursuits podcast. Today we are doing an episode of This Week in Niche Pursuits News. And news there is indeed. As usual, we found 3 or 4 topics that we'll want to cover here that impact digital marketers, niche site creators, the SEO world. And I've got my co-host with me, Jared Bauman. Jared, how you doing today?
Good. We had a long list. We could have picked from, I think we had 8 or 9 topics there to pick from. We had to whittle it away down to just 3 or 4 with the time constraints.
Yeah, exactly. And there's actually 1 or 2 of these topics that we could probably spend a whole hour on. You know, we're going to go into like some industry reports that I'm sure people spent many, many hours putting together, things that we could talk about, but we're going to just hit on, I think we got 4 sort of news topics that we're going to cover that do impact, I think, all the listeners here. And then we're going to, of course, share our Shiny Object Shenanigans, a couple of Shiny Object projects that we're working on. And then we're going to bring it all home with our weird niche sites, talk about what we found out in the wild on the internet that are interesting, that are making money, that are just maybe weird as well. Yeah, things people are doing. So that's what we're going to do. So let's jump right into it here.
Before we jump into the podcast, I wanted to let you know that today's episode is sponsored by Search Intelligence. Here's a short clip of Ferry from Search Intelligence showing you how their agency built digital PR links to a client's website.
This campaign got us big links in websites such as Lifehacker, Wales Online, Daily Record, and about 20 other news websites. Let me show you how we've done it. We knew that people will be flying a lot this summer, and we knew that journalists will be writing about this topic a lot. So, on behalf of our client, we put together a nice guide about how to fall asleep on the plane. Then we use Muckrack to find journalists who write about travel. Then we put our advice in a nice email and send the tips to the journalists. Within just a few days, the links started landing, securing our client natural placements in really big websites, just like this, and this. This is a great example about how you can leverage seasonal trends to earn links to a website. Anticipate what journalists want to write about at all times and give them the stories that they need. They will reward you with some great, juicy links. I hope this is helpful.
If you want similar link building PR campaigns for your website, head to search-intelligence.co.uk and get in touch with them now.
So the first news topic that we are going to cover, we've been talking about it the last couple of weeks actually, is the Google Core Update. So the August 2023 Google Core Update wrapped up, like we said, right when we were recording last week. Exactly. So it's been almost 1 week since exactly 1 week since the Core Update finished. And so that's now been long enough for some analysis to be done. And so Lily Ray is well known in the SEO community, and she wrote a huge blog post about this. And so I'm going to kind of highlight some of the things that she talked about because she had some good tidbits of information there, things that she had noticed, and a lot of the tools that they use to track search impressions and ranking changes have shown up. And so she's got a whole blog post here that, people, if they want to go read the whole thing, they can do that. And of course, she's been tweeting all along the way as well. If people want to follow her on Twitter, she kind of talks. She starts this off by talking about EEAT and just how Google has been talking about the importance of experience recently and how important that is for websites. And so some of the analysis here is, okay, did that really come into play in the August Core Update? Did Google really put an emphasis on this experience that perhaps websites should be trying to show for their website for their content? And I think the answer is yes. But let's jump into some of these. We should say that when we're talking about this, they only looked at 500 domains. And so this report is based on 500 domains, and you can see all the different categories, right? Business and finance, dictionary, which I thought that was interesting. There's 28 websites in the dictionary space that comprise these 500. I don't know why that's so important, but e-commerce, education, gaming, government, 68 websites, news, real estate, and review is 39. So there is a nice chunk, almost 10%, is probably closer to this affiliate type stuff, although a lot of these, right, would kind of be in the sort of niche ball game. But that's just the types of categories that they're covering here. So the winners and losers of the August 2023 core update. A couple of the big winners were more like, Reddit.com was a huge one. And I think, Quora was also was another one. So there's a few on here. Twitter, there's definitely a few that are like user generated content websites, which was a big takeaway for me. Is like Reddit, people gravitate towards that because they're getting real reviews from real people. It's a forum where it's not all AI generated, right? So that's kind of the first takeaway that I saw. Anything else that you noticed from sort of the winners here, Jared?
No, and I tweeted about the same thing yesterday, where it's oftentimes we'll read these reports. I always read them, and you'll be like, oh, dictionary sites did well. Oh, okay, like high DR sites did well. But you go doing about your daily life and you do your searches, and it's not something that you see as much of an impact on. But reading this report, I've already been seeing almost every query I have now since this update has both a Reddit and a Quora result in the top 10. And so this growth by Reddit and Quora is extremely felt. And I mean, it's really interesting. I want to ask you what you think. Like, I'm just curious, but do you think that Google giving so much additional weight and exposure to Reddit, which is user-generated content, Quora, which is user-generated content, Twitter, which is user-generated content, et cetera, is that their best response to AI? They're like, well, we don't really know what AI is and what it isn't, so what we do know is that Reddit's probably not AI, so we'll just prioritize it, et cetera. Like, is that their response? Is that what we're seeing here?
That's interesting. Maybe. Of course, Google doesn't really, pick and choose winners, right? They tweak their algorithms and sort of see what rises to the top. So whatever tweak they made, whatever Reddit is doing that designates or makes it clear to machines that, hey, there's more real human interaction here, like that's kind of rising to the top. I don't know if it's human interaction per se, as like it clearly is, user-generated content, not written by AI. So it feels like they turned the dial to make that tweak. It certainly feels that way. Is that a response to AI? I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen any huge studies that show that AI content was just crushed in the update or anything like that. So I wouldn't go that far per se, other than it's clearly interesting. I mean, Reddit percent change of 64%, or an absolute change of 91%, right? Fascinating.
I mean, it's interesting because it's almost like there's a battle between what Google wants going on. They said they don't mind AI content, to be clear, but at the same time, we know that they're trying to surface real results in the search engine and this sort of stuff. They want you to be an expert, and they want you to have experience. These are the two E's in the EEAT. Well, when I read something on Reddit, I don't really feel like I'm getting an expert opinion. That's what I'm supposed to be doing on my website, building the expertise, topical authority, links, just all this stuff that showcases that I'm an expert. Yet Reddit certainly has a lot of, user-generated does allude to the experience side of things. So I don't know. We could nerd out on it for a while, or well, at least I could. But it's interesting to think through like the complexities of how they're managing this EEAT mantra and where the user-generated sites fit in an AI world and how that's going to play itself out. We've seen Reddit rise in past updates and then drop. So to be clear, we saw this, I think, 2 years ago, and they dropped back in the next update and stuff. So this and the dictionary sites, which are also listed as rising, are often going up and down in bulk in these kind of updates.
Yeah, it's really interesting that dictionary sites would see such an increase in traffic. I always feel like they are just ripe for AI takeover, right? Like, what does this word mean? Like, the AI already knows all of that. But so that's interesting. Is that does that alleviate some concern that like your website's just going to be crushed by AI? Because Google has been rolling out the search generative experience, and I would think that definitions and some of these things that dictionaries rank well for are covered by SGE, but it looks like they saw a big boost. So I don't know what that means.
It feels like we talked about it recently, like a MapQuest, how, they got killed off by Google Maps, and weather apps got killed off by just showing the weather in the search results, and, why we still have dictionary sites. Lot to be explored there. But yeah, they rose big time. So, hey, one thing is a little bit off topic, but one thing that was in Lily's report there that I also wanted to ask you about, and I think that this might share some of the feelings people had. Like, did you notice how much more volatility there was in the SERPs prior to the update being launched, in comparison to actually the entire 2.5-week update that they had?
Right. I think she's got a chart for that, doesn't she?
She does, yeah.
Somewhere along here. There's a lot here. Oh, and then there's a couple other things. But yeah, I did find that interesting, and I know that what I noticed, I don't know if I'll find the exact chart, but what I noticed with my own sites is that the first week of the update was very volatile, and then it seemed like the second week was less so.
Yeah.
Kind of made some corrections that the first week, right? It's like I saw kind of a dip in the first week, and then it kind of came back to where it was after that.
Yeah, her chart showed huge volatility swings, and I think it's up a little bit for you there if you go up.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you're at the top now. Yeah, boy, it's a long article, folks, if you're...
It's somewhere.
It's somewhere in there.
Well,
but it showed a massive spike at the end of July, and that kind of mimics a bit of what I was seeing with my site. One of my sites that ended up going up in the algorithm update. If you just look at the algorithm update, it was flat, right? Because it went up at the end of July and then stayed and maintained and held those rankings throughout the whole update and still where it was at the end of July. So it's very interesting. You might, if you're evaluating the update on your own, and the reason I brought it up is you might say, oh, the update started on whatever it was, August 7th. I'll start looking at it there. You might actually want to rewind back into July because the update kind of, a lot of people saw a lot of volatility in the week leading up to it. And so you might want to look at like maybe a data set from early July and compare where you're at now.
Yeah. So a couple of the other charts that I did want to point out, I mean, already mentioned that Reddit and user-generated content sites had a huge spike. Here's her chart here that you can see, right? This just massive jump in visibility, the visibility index, which doesn't necessarily mean traffic from Google, but it's correlated, right? So they certainly are seeing more traffic, but huge visibility increase for Reddit and user-generated content sites. And then the other one that we've talked about a little bit is Parasite SEO, right? These Parasite SEO sites, in particular, OutlookIndia.com has been sort of everybody talking about on Twitter, at least. These are sites that accept guest posts, essentially, or sponsored posts, and have a lot of authority. So you might write an article that can rank really quick on Outlook India, and then you insert your own affiliate links and you make commissions or link to other sites that you want to. And they've seen rapid increase over the last few months this year, but then a huge drop with the update. So that is very interesting. And I would actually say encouraging, because nobody wants to have just these sites that get tons of traffic just because they're an authoritative domain. And that's all that Outlook India is. It's an authoritative domain, but everybody's publishing, honestly, probably trash content, just hoping that they rank quickly and make a buck. So I would say it's nice to see this drop in visibility for that particular site.
I think we can all agree that the algorithm is getting it right when it comes to that. There's no reason Outlook India should be ranking for the, as the Jackie Chow example that he's been publishing on Twitter, the best VPN in Canada.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. And then just maybe the last thing is she points out a site, GarageGymReviews.com, where they are a review website, so an affiliate website, but they clearly do a good job of showing that they've handled the product, they've reviewed the product, they're in the photos, they have videos, right? And so they have that firsthand experience, and it clearly shows that they're doing well, that they got a nice bump in traffic. I think it's right here, GarageGymReviews.com had a percent change of 79%, almost 80% increase in, I don't know if it's visibility, probably visibility is what it was. So if you're looking for an example site that you can go look at for how they're showing their firsthand experience, go check out GarageGymReviews.com. They saw a huge bump in traffic.
I know that site very well. I don't work on that site, just to be clear, but I have a client, and we look at that site a lot because they're in the same space. So it's a very well done site. Very good example.
Yeah, there you go. Anything else you want to say about the update? I think that hits the high-level points that she makes and that I wanted to cover.
Yeah, I mean, in general, she commented on it, and I haven't seen as much of this, but she said product review sites are down. So I haven't dove into that myself. We talked about that side of it a lot last week, so I think that if you want to hear our thoughts on that in order to kind of stay on target for timing today, you can reference last week's episode where we really did a little bit more of a deep dive on what the niche website community might have been experiencing from the update.
Yeah. Not very good. So there is lots of other news topics. We got a few more here. So in more general news, almost sort of national news, if you will, just was it yesterday, I believe, that Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, and other tech leaders held a closed meeting with the Senate to talk about AI and all the issues surrounding artificial intelligence, just to talk openly about what sort of regulations or guardrails need to be put in place to make sure that AI is handled properly by the government and by tech companies and everybody else that's involved. And so it's interesting for, of course, us bloggers and SEOs, just because, boy, if there is some sort of regulations that come out that impact either the tools we're using or what sorts of technologies are able to be used and utilized, right, that could change the trajectory of how we create content potentially. So it's something to keep an eye on, just that all of these tech leaders, I guess that's the best phrase, met together. The CEO of Google, all the others that I mentioned, former Google CEO Eric Schmidt, and many others here. We've got a list. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, met together. They're talking about it with senators. So we'll see what comes down the pipeline from that.
Interesting. Well, not that interesting, I guess, or interesting depending on how you look at it. They seem to all have very different takes on it. Musk was saying that, basically in a nutshell, he thinks it should be regulated. Zuckerberg was saying in a nutshell, he doesn't think it should be regulated. Reference their history there to probably know why they disagreed on that. We had Google kind of taking a little bit more of a middle of the road stance, saying that they already have regulations for this stuff. So just interesting to kind of, again, one of those things where if you're looking for something to read, to really understand where AI is taking its role in center stage in kind of the nation, at least with the U.S., it's an interesting article.
Yeah, exactly. And so, Chuck Schumer, I like this quote here. If you go too fast, you could ruin things. And I think that's the sort of standard operating procedure for government is don't go fast, right? They're the opposite of tech companies, right? Don't go too fast, go slow, take years and years. But so I'm sure it'll be a happy medium somewhere
along the way.
Exactly. So yeah, that's going on. I mean, it's in the news. It is at the forefront of the government, and so yeah, something to keep an eye on as well.
Just a question. This is unrelated to anything, but if it's a closed session, why do we know so much about it?
Good question. I guess it wasn't
that one be, but I'm just like
wasn't that closed. It wasn't top secret. Maybe there's different levels here.
Must
right?
be.
Wasn't a top secret meeting.
I've been an entrepreneur too long. I don't even know much about what a closed session really is, I guess.
You weren't invited, Jared. That's all we know.
That we know. Yep, you're right.
When they start inviting us, now that will make a news item here on the podcast.
I think our weekly news podcast episode will get some good view numbers that week.
That's right. When we're in the
Spencer
room,
goes before Congress.
I like it. Get dust off my suits. I'll be ready to go.
Oh man, I'd have to really dust one of mine off.
Yeah, get out of these shorts.
You're wearing shorts?
Absolutely. I wear shorts all year round if I can.
We're lucky if I get me on a podcast with pants on in general.
All right, all right. This is the news for Niche Pursuits listeners that they want to hear.
I kid.
Is our wardrobe, right? Um, so next up here, I think this is maybe another short one, but news item nonetheless, specifically for SEO. Google search stops showing how-to rich results on desktop. Okay, so about a month ago, Google did come out with an update, and I think we covered this.
We did. It's part of the FAQ snippet rich result update as well.
Exactly. Yeah. And so Google had written a blog post that they're going to reduce the visibility for how-to and FAQ snippets results. And at the time, it was for mobile results only. They were kind of removing that, and only desktop was going to show the how-to rich results. They updated their blog post as of September 13th, saying Google search no longer shows how-to rich results on desktops, which means this result type is now deprecated. So it's gone. It's off mobile. It's off desktop. You're no longer going to see the how-to and FAQ results.
They got what they needed out of us. Thank you, machine learning.
There you go. Now it's in SGE results.
Yep. Now it's all in SGE. We don't need you to mark it up anymore. We're smart enough to just take it on our own accord.
Yeah, that's probably the reality of it, right?
I know I'm sharing a generally held theory that is nothing more than theory, but I happen to buy into it pretty much.
Well, I mean, that's Google's very open business model, right?
Yeah.
Is to scrape the internet and share it. I mean, that's what they do. So they have scraped our content once again, and now they're holding it as their own.
Again, poetic word choice. Share. That's such a poetic word choice there. That's good. That's good.
Right. Yeah, they didn't steal our content.
Of course not.
Of course, scraped isn't a very friendly term either.
No, that more accurately depicts how I feel about it. But
I mean, that's exactly what happened. But we all have the option to no index, to tell the Google bot to stop scraping our content. But
all's
here
fair
we
in
are.
love and war, right? All's fair in love and war. So.
Yep, we're suckers. We're giving it to them.
Glutton for punishment. Yeah, I think this came as a surprise. I think that they originally announced how to snippets, rich results were only going to be removed on desktop. And, we made a big deal about the FAQ stuff. I think, at least in our space, we probably all took more advantage of FAQ rich results and FAQ markup than we did how to, at least for the people I talked to and my own use. But nonetheless, this is certainly, if you made use of it and if you got traffic from it, it's going to be gone. And obviously, as a result, no longer will be reported on in Google Search Console.
Yeah. And it's kind of interesting. I mean, this is a tweet by Brody Clark of Brody SEO here, where he shares this chart from Rank Ranger. And I mean, it really is a pretty big deal when you look at, the percent of queries was like 10 to almost 15% included FAQ and how-to snippets. Now it's 0, right? And so I didn't realize it was that high.
I didn't either.
If I'm honest, that 10% of queries were sort of still. I guess maybe over the last few months haven't seen it as much because I'm using the SGE. That's what Google shows me, and so I don't think I've been seeing these for a few months already. But it's up to 10% of all the queries are now no longer in that format. So. All right, very good. Let's see here. We have one other news topic, I believe, here to talk about. And this is one of those that I mentioned that is a huge report. We could probably spend a whole hour talking about this, but we're going to just kind of give you some of the highlights. Basically, AdRoll.com came out with a state of digital marketing report. Right. And so it's what's happened to ad rates, what's happened to, all of these things associated with the number of advertisers and how much people are spending and how that compares to previous quarters and previous years. Right. So here's some of the highlights. 2023 quarter 3 is that a decrease of 49% in advertising costs. So CPM is down 49%. And this is comparing the previous year. Okay, so Q2 of 2022 versus this quarter, or the previous quarter, quarter two of 2023. So that's a big one, down 49% CPM, and then 8% increase in website visitors. More traffic on the internet, I suppose. Yeah. And then a 13% increase in conversion events, so sales, I guess. People are still buying lots of stuff online. And so I guess they are calling this like Prime Day for advertisers because things are on a discount, right?
Yeah.
So if
people
you're
are still buying, they're just it's just cheap to get in front of them right now.
Exactly. So if you run an e-commerce store, if you run ads of any kind, your costs are down by as much as 49% compared to last year. So that's a great thing for advertisers. But on the other side, Jared, is there another side to that coin?
If you've been wondering why your RPMs are so low for your ads on your site, i.e., maybe your ad earnings through Raptive Ad Thrive or Mediavine or Ezoic, well, this is why. The reason CPMs are so low is because there's a lot less dollars going into advertising. Businesses are spending a lot less on advertising, so they don't have to pay as much because the competition for ad spots is lower, driving CPM costs down. Reference your first day of Econ 101 class with supply and demand. But that's why RPMs are low and have been low all year. Granted, they were really low in like January, February. They feel like they've kind of bounced back a bit, but they're still significantly lower than last year. And, a lot of this has to do with economy, inflation, interest rates, all that stuff. But I think the big question they pose and the big question I have is, hey, let's be honest. With ads, we all make most of our money in Q3 and Q4 anyways. How much of a rebound are we going to get, if at all? Right.
Yeah, I think you touched on some good points there. Just there's uncertainty around the economy, and so there's uncertainty around some business models that are out there. People are kind of like taking a wait and see approach. I know there's been a ton of layoffs, tech layoffs, that you've heard about, over the last year or so. And there's a lot of other companies that are kind of in this like, okay, is the economy good? Is it bad? Do we spend money? Do we save money? And I think that's kind of what we're seeing, a little bit of trepidation around spending all their advertising dollars. And I think you nailed it when you said Q3 and Q4 is going to be the real big tell. Our company's going to pull out the wallet and say, okay, you know what? Q3, Q4 is always big. Let's make it big. So let's spend a little bit more, make sure we get that, that overall revenue coming in. And if that's the case, then us as display ad, website owners, we'll see that bump in RPMs and hopefully make a little bit more money ourselves.
And if you are running an e-com business, maybe a SaaS product, might be a good time to take advantage of the fact that it does appear from this data, people are converting really well online, up, I think you said 13%, and ad costs are cut in half this year. Might be a good time to, if you have some extra cash, to put towards that, to put money into advertising this year to get your product in front of more people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And just one quote here from the president of AdRoll. He says, although indicators suggest the global economy may be finally on an upswing, consumers are still very hesitant to spend. Advertisers should leverage this period when advertising costs are low to reach out to high-value consumers who may be different from those prior to the pandemic. They should then develop marketing campaigns to generate brand awareness and loyalty that can carry through to maximize revenues during what's predicted to be a $1.328 trillion holiday shopping season of 2023. That sounds like a big number.
I was going to say, I have no idea how that compares to the year prior, but it's a big number.
There's a lot of money out there. People are going to be spending big time, hopefully. And so, yeah, buckle up. I think it could be an interesting sort of final quarter of the year here.
Hey, I'm hoping for the best when it comes to those RPMs. And, let's be honest, I think to close on this, at least from my standpoint, like last year was a banner year in terms of RPMs. They were high all year, and Q4 was extra high, even compared to years prior. So while tough to stomach this year, when you actually look at how it compares to maybe 2 and 3 years ago, or even back to 2019 before, pre-pandemic type RPMs, it's not as bad as the charts look when you just compare it to last year.
Yeah, exactly. And then just this chart to kind of drive the point home of that, hey, Q4 is always higher. You know, you can see the previous 4 years here where, Q4 always sees a nice bump in CPMs or RPMs, you know, for us. So, but yeah, if people want to check it out, AdRoll's got an entire industry report here that you can read through and study and maybe gain some other insights that we didn't mention.
I hope you're enjoying the podcast so far. Just wanted to take a short break and remind you that today's episode is sponsored by Search Intelligence. I've got a short clip from Ferry at Search Intelligence showing you how their agency built digital PR links to a client's website.
This is how we landed massive links for our client in The Sun, a DR90 website, and many other UK news websites. We have used freely available data from YouGov to simply find out what the nation's favorite car brand is and which brands people love the most. Of course, Rolls-Royce came out on top, Aston Martin second, and Jaguar third. We put these insights in a short email and sent it to journalists that write about cars and to national news desks on behalf of our client. Within a few days, our client got featured in all the Suns, as well as many regional newspaper sites in the UK, gaining DR90 links to their leasing comparison website. YouGov website is full of unlimited PR stories with data already available for free. All you have to do is to start researching their data and start asking the data questions. You will be surprised of the unlimited PR campaigns that you will find there that can help you build massive exposure and links to your or your clients' websites. I hope this video is helpful and inspirational.
Are you looking for similar link building PR campaigns for your website? If so, just go to search-intelligence.co.uk and get in touch with them today.
All right, very good. So let's jump into our next segment of the podcast here, where we are going to talk about our Shiny Object Shenanigans, our side hustle projects that we've been working on, things that maybe aren't our main business, but still nonetheless are a lot of fun, and we're spending a little bit of time on, hoping to grow. So I'll go first here. This is one that I talked about last week a little bit. I'm going to talk about more here because it finally did happen. I went ahead and I launched a brand new challenge, not one, but actually 2 challenges related to artificial intelligence and growing websites. So the first challenge that I started is that I am going to give away $2,500 to the person that can start a new site and grow it the most over a period of 6 months. Out of all the challengers, right? And so I'm hoping to get dozens of people to put their hat in the ring to build a site. It needs to be a brand new site. They need to use artificial intelligence to grow that site. Outside of it, I'm not setting a lot of rules. Do it how you want. You know, go in mass or edit your articles a little bit better and maybe make them more valuable. Let's see who wins. And so I'm going to judge that based on organic traffic, essentially in the last month, the 6th month that the site is there. And then I'm going to award a prize. And of course, I'm going to be telling the story and sharing everything along the way, sort of case study results. And in fact, I created a whole community forum for this. It's at community.nichepursuits.com. And then the second challenge is very similar, but it's for anybody that has an existing website that they would like to scale and grow using artificial intelligence content. And so basically, I'm going to measure only the new content added to the website after the challenge starts, so essentially after this month, and how much that new content grows. Right? And so if you have an existing website, you don't want to start something new, but you've got an existing site, you'd like to throw your hat in the ring, I am also offering $2,500 to the winner of that challenge. So $5,000 total between the 2 different challenges I'm giving. And I will simply say that there is a lot of interest surrounding this already. I'm leaving the what I'm calling application period, although really it's, hey, if you submit a 2-minute video and say you're in, you're in. Okay, so you just got to say you're doing it to do it. I have 24 people, I think it was 24 exactly people so far on the first challenge, and about 10 people on the second one. I expect that to more than double over the next couple of days here. I'm going to leave it open until next Wednesday. So that's my side hustle, if you will. I'm rallying the troops. We're gonna do this challenge, this competition, see how content produced by artificial intelligence does, and we're gonna document and share the results all along the way.
Couple questions for you, if you don't mind. Although, first off, let's comment and address the fact that if you want someone to campaign for your upcoming campaign, clearly I'm not the person, because I did check. And my vote didn't carry much weight last week for the Amazon flatbed of stuff.
The pallets,
yeah. Didn't
I'm
move
sorry.
the needle much. I gotta be honest with you.
The podcast listeners did not agree,
No.
they did not vote in mass.
No, my ringing endorsement did not help. But all joking aside, so now did you say the time frame? This is only 3 months. Is that what I heard you say?
So the first one, building a new site, is 6 months.
6 months. Okay, 6 months to
It
build a
is
site
6
and get it
months.
off the ground.
That's right.
Okay, that's
right.
pretty
So I don't.
fast. Are you allowed to bring
Yeah.
like an age domain in, or is it all fresh domains? You have rules on that?
No age domain. You must bring a fresh domain. So I don't expect traffic to be off the charts. I know these sites are going to really just be starting that curve, and that's okay. It's going to be fun to watch.
Yep.
So 6 months for that one. 3 months for the second one. Existing sites,
Yep.
that maybe are very authoritative, right? That you just throw 1,000 articles at it and we see what happens.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Can I do other things? Can I build links? Can I?
Yeah. It's you can build links. You can. I've had people ask, can I hire people to help? Yes. You can do whatever you want. If you want to invest your life savings on this project, go for it.
There's a $2,500 prize at the end of it.
That's right. But yeah, there's not a lot of rules. I mean, you can't buy traffic. I'm gonna have access. In order to win, I need to be given access to Google Analytics and Google Search Console, so I can verify traffic sources, see if there's anything weird going on, just to verify. But yeah, there's a couple other little rules that people can check out, but nothing super complicated outside of that.
If I win, do I have to reveal the site?
You do not need to reveal the site publicly. You need to reveal it to me.
Yep.
Yes. I would love it if somebody is willing to reveal their site, but I need to know what it is. I need to verify, and then I'll vouch, to the community that, hey, I really saw the site.
You're not giving away all that hard-earned Amazon influencer cash without verifying.
That's exactly right. I've worked hard for this, $2,500. So, but yeah, it's super exciting.
Yeah. I like how you spaced it out, so we'll get kind of some results in 3 months, and then we'll get some results in 6 months, and it's kind of nice. We've talked about how this relates to niche site projects you've done in the past, 1, 2, 3, and 4. But I mean, niche site project 4 was what, a 2-year journey?
It was.
So this has some quicker results. I like that. We get to get some feedback sooner. There's nothing wrong with the niche site projects, but this one will have a quicker feedback loop.
It will indeed. And what I think will be exciting is that within the community, I'm going to require all the participants every month to post updates, right? Screenshots, updates, traffic stats, that sort of thing. And so people that want to follow along will be getting, feedback or information each and every month. So you can start to see early on, oh, this is working. After a few months, hopefully you'll see, oh, that's a strategy that could work well. So yeah, should be a lot of fun. If people want to follow along, again, just go over to community.nichepursuits.com. It's pretty easy. You'll figure out how to join if you want to participate. There's a forum discussion in there, and you can join. You have until the 20th of September. So that's 5 days from now, if you want to join.
Man, that's exciting. I feel like I have enough shiny objects, so I will not be joining, but I wish all the contestants good luck.
Thank you very much. Well, you would win anyways, Jared, so we're all glad you're not doing it.
I don't know about that. We'll leave all my musings out of it, but yeah, I don't know. I think I think you probably have some pretty good people in there already if you already have 24 people.
Yeah, there actually are. People should watch the videos. It's cool to kind of see that, hey, it's just, a mom in Texas is wanting to do it, and then there's somebody in the Philippines that wants to do it, and somebody in Germany, and all over the world, people from all different. Yeah, I'm a diehard SEO to I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I just want to try this. Never done it. It's kind of cool. It should be fun to watch.
That's so cool. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Exciting. Well, good stuff.
All right, what do you got going on?
Well, let's be honest. I'm probably going to be focusing most of my updates on Amazon Influencer through Q4. I sat down. I was getting such a hard time from people about how many side hustles I have. I actually sat down last week, I think it was Friday, and just kind of looked at everything and thought, okay, like I gotta get my ship in order here, And Amazon Influencer does seem like the right place to put the side hustle effort, at least into Q4, because of what we know happens on Amazon. And Amazon becomes such a buying powerhouse, sales powerhouse, really, in Q4. Yeah. And so I kind of decided to redouble my efforts into that Amazon Influencer program. But trying to do the balancing act. And I feel like every entrepreneur I talk with, this is what the balancing act is, right? How much time do I put into a new idea, something that's brand new? But with all that being said, I did go a little nuts on recording this week again. Not like 2 weeks ago, where I think I hit 135 videos in 1 week, and I spent over 10 hours and that sort of thing. But I'm kind of bummed. I pulled the numbers right before we started. I hit 99 videos. If I had known, I would have done one more.
99. That is a lot of work. That's a lot of videos.
99 videos, but I'm down to, I've just got the process really well dialed in. I'm doing about 10 to 12 every 30 to 40 minutes.
Wow.
So just really doing a better job of that. So, again, not going to do 99 every week, but, September hit on the back of a really bad August month where earnings were down. Clicks weren't down too much, which I want to explain a little bit here in a little bit. But September has been doing very well. And who knows, that could change, but certainly the first, what are we at, 2 weeks into September, it's doing really well. And so hopefully a ramp up into the next year. Now, I did go through the results from August in terms of the earnings, but the numbers behind the earnings, because you and I both had lower months. I thought, you want to hear some of the findings I had. I'd be happy to share those and kind of discuss them. I haven't told you about this yet. I just kind of figured this stuff out. So earnings, and I think people might be interested in hearing this. I'll tell you why at the end. I'll keep it quick. But earnings were down 26%. And so I wanted to know, why is that? We don't get much data, but can I figure out why earnings were down? Is it that they're not showing videos as much? Is it that my videos aren't performing very well? Are my topics not good? Is it seasonal? What is it? Well, earnings are down 26%. Basically the number of orders from my videos was only down about 13 or 14%. Okay. So what that means is, yes, orders were down, but part of the result of the revenue being down is because people just weren't ordering as expensive of stuff during the month of August. And then when I looked at the number of clicks for my videos, the number of people that watched my video and then clicked to buy the product, it was only down by 7%. So in other words, August seems to have been a low period for people buying stuff on Amazon. It looks like the number of videos that people watched and then clicked forward on was almost the same as in the previous month. And I think that's encouraging for what we know is Q4 coming and when people tend to open their wallets and spend a lot more money. So it's not as much volatility in the shoppable videos being shown, but the volatility is really more in what people are spending during the month of August.
Right. Weren't making as many large purchases for whatever reason. End of summer, right?
Yep.
So that I would call that encouraging. I like that analysis.
Yeah, that's what I thought I'd share that. I get a lot of people saying earnings are down, is a program dying? I think it's more just the seasonal fluctuations of August being a month where it's still summertime, people going back to school. We didn't have a Prime Day or Prime Days like we did in July. I know for a lot of affiliate sites, spending is down, earnings are down in the summer. People kind of come back and start buying. So we'll see. But yeah, 99 more videos. So that brings me up to, let me get the actual number here. And again, Spencer, I got to know, am I beating you? Because, we have a competition to get to 1,000. We never really wagered.
I don't think we finalized that bet, that wager. But
you might find another way out of it after I share. I'm up to 638 now. 638
oh my goodness.
Videos.
Dang. So those those videos that you recorded, is it still you? You did 99 videos this week. Wow. You're a hustler, man.
Not going to do that every week. Not going to do that every week, but
600 and what did you say?
638.
I don't think I'm going to catch you. I'm at 513, which
You
is still a
hired, like,
nice
6 people and brought them to your house. I don't know. This runway you might have this, like, you know, the curve of the what do they call it? The exponential curve of growth versus the linear curve of growth we might see.
I would hope. I don't think that's going to happen. They're not recording 99 videos. I don't have a superstar like, you. So, anyways, that's where I'm at.
I will
you
say,
still got
Spencer,
me beat.
I'm going to dip my toe into the hiring, I think.
Yeah.
In terms of, like, I did noodle on the idea previously, but nothing really big to report. But I do think long term, that's probably going to be the way I go. So,
Yeah, you're probably taking the smarter approach. I will just say, in terms of, like, truly bootstrapping, right? Like, do the work yourself, get the business to a point where it's making a few $1,000s a month, and then take, most of that money or all of it or half of it, whatever you want, and hire and grow the business that way. Free up half your time and grow. That's probably the smart way, and that's traditionally how I have done things. But I'm just trying to spend all my money this year, I guess, and including giving away prizes, hiring for Amazon. So I just spent without me, recording all the videos myself.
No, I think it's good. I think I do like your strategy, and it's fun. I think for everybody listening, they can kind of see two different approaches at the same time. So we'll have to see how Q4 goes and all that. And
I think it's gonna be big.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be big.
Yeah. I mean, I'd hate to try to make some sort of projection. I mean, I don't know. Do you have any hopes of what a month might look like? Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, I would think double what I'm doing, in September would be nice. Come November, December, right?
Man, we should ask. We should get an update here after the Q4 season. We should try to go back out and talk to people like Matt and Thomas, who we had on the podcast, seasoned experts, people not you and I, not testing this out, people who have years and years of experience on it. See what they end up doing during Q4, so people can really get an idea for what's possible if you really knuckle down on it.
Yeah, that just reminded me of somebody that I know recently that has something like 7,000 or 8,000 videos on the Amazon Influencer Program. We need to have him on the podcast.
Wow.
He was one. He's one that would say yes. So,
I'll have my people
he
talk
would
to
have
your people.
Yeah. Let's see if we can make that happen. But he would have some great insights because he's been doing it a long time as well, quite a while. And he doesn't
put my 99 videos to shame.
Yes, and he does all the videos himself. And so he has a very good process. I talked to him recently. I think so. And maybe so. That's right. But that is his main thing, is he does videos. He has a YouTube channel and Amazon Influencer, and he cranks out a lot of videos. So
how much? I mean, do you have any idea how much he's making a month?
I don't want to say. I don't know for sure. I could guesstimate, but he hasn't told me exactly. But it's probably a very healthy. He can support his whole family, and he's doing well.
Good for him, man.
So yeah,
exciting times.
Absolutely. So, all right. Well, good. Let's jump into our weird niche sites here. Each of us have a weird niche site that we found. I'll go ahead and go first here. This is one that maybe is less weird. I tend to sway between, okay, this is just a really weird kind of funny website, to like, here's a website that's doing really well, probably making a lot of money, that's slightly different than our normal blog or niche website. And so that's the latter here for today. This is a website, I'll tease it like I like to do, that is getting 2.4 million visitors a month via organic sources, according to Ahrefs, and getting nearly 3 million visitors. I guess it's 2.7 million total visitors a month, according to SimilarWeb. And the website is compressedjpeg.com. compressedjpeg.com. So if I share this for our video watchers, they can see this website, and it does exactly like you might think it would do with the name compressed JPEG. Is you simply upload your file here, whether that's a JPEG, PNG, GIF, PDF. You upload your file, and it's going to reduce the size of that, right? It's going to compress that for you, and you can do multiple images at once and get it spit out as a zip file. But that's the main function of the website. Even just looking at this very quickly, I really don't see any other pages on the site other than the terms and privacy. And that's even just a modal pop-up here.
It's a light box basically.
Lightbox. Mm-hmm.
By the way, they're out of Latvia.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Not sure that helps anybody, but yeah.
And they're clearly monetized with display ads. I see at least 5.
Yeah.
Anyways, 5 or 6 ad units.
I got 5.
All right here on the homepage. You can select your language.
All
if
above
you need
the
help.
fold.
Exactly right. But if we take a look at Ahrefs, you can see again, 2.4 million visitors a month. They've kind of had this fairly steady. I mean, there's some big spikes, but they've been getting 2-3 million visitors a month for a few years, it looks like. And they rank for 30,000 keywords, which honestly isn't that much. Oh, of course, they log me out right when I'm trying to show this on screen. I was going to look at some of the keywords. Oh, man. I love Ahrefs. Here we go.
Keep it PC.
So they rank for 30,000 keywords. Some of their top keywords, obviously, compressed JPEG, JPEG compress image, JPEG compressor, and pretty much every variation that you can think of related to that. Probably also PNG compressor, etc. And so they get tons of just organic traffic for people that are searching for that. And then they get a little bit of direct traffic, right? If we go over to SimilarWeb, you can see 2.7 million visitors a month. That would mean roughly, well, I think it breaks it down into percentage-wise here. 70% it says is organic search, 30% is direct, something like that, right? So you get lots of people that are returning. Hey, they find it, they like the website, it's simple, it does its job, and might as well keep using it. So that's what I found. Again, maybe not weird, although their sub headline, which I don't know why I didn't notice this before.
Oh, I did right away.
Compressed JPEG with the force of an elephant, and their logo is this elephant circle thing. So I guess that's catchy, kind of unique.
Maybe
I'd call that weird. Yeah. So
one thing I thought I'd highlight
kind of cool.
Yeah, one thing I thought I'd highlight about this site while we're sitting here, I just saw it for the first time, but I booted it up on my mobile device here on my phone. I kind of thought, compression we typically think about as a desktop experience, and so why would I ever I need the photo on my desktop and I'm going to be using it on my desktop, but Apple's announcement this week that the new iPhone has a 48 megapixel camera means that photos coming out of your phone now need compression. I mean, they did need it before that, but they only increasingly are going to need compression to go on a website, to publish. And, this site does a very good job. When you hit upload files, I mean, it feels like it's going to be one of those things where you're it has to try to access the downloads folder of your computer, and how does that work on a phone? But I can upload photos straight from my my photo gallery here very easily. It's a great mobile experience, and so I didn't carry it all the way through and actually compressing from my phone, but so far so good. Of course, I only get one ad, and it's below the fold. So I wonder how much their earnings are swaying between the 5 above the fold ads on desktop and the 1 below the fold ad on mobile.
Yeah, they're taking advantage on desktop for sure. And, you kind of bring up a good point that the technology is really good behind this, right? They probably put a lot of development hours and effort into making it a very simple tool. I mean, I know we come to the website and all we see is a button. It's like upload files and, oh man, this is super easy. I should try to compete maybe, or man, they just are, that's kind of, we hit on the highlights of they're getting 3 million visitors a month. They're probably making, $40,000 a month just from display ads or more. But really, there's probably a team behind this, or at least a couple of good developers that keep it updated and there's a lot that goes into not only building a tool like this, but to then get it to rank in Google with all the press mentions and link building efforts potentially. So as simple as it is, it doesn't necessarily mean it's easy to build and replicate, but it is a very fascinating website to think about, and perhaps give some ideas of what you could do in the future, how you might be able to implement something into your own business model or your own website.
Well, you would know, running Link Whisper, I mean, you have a full-time developer. It feels from the outside like, yeah, you built it. It's an internal linking tool. I'm sure someone's got to go in every month and, make a few updates. But what else does it need, But, yeah, you're one. You would know what that looks like on the inside.
Yep. It is amazing how much upkeep and just ongoing work a software application takes. I'll just simply say, yeah, Link Whisper, for example, is a full-time developer, and he is very busy, all the time. Yeah. All the time. Yeah. So there you go.
Good site. And again, another, not a calculator, but another little piece of SaaS, if you will. It's not really SaaS, but another little tool. How is that? Another little tool that is simple, but got to be profitable, got to be pretty profitable.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. Did you also find a profitable website?
No. Well, maybe. I don't think so. But I found a weird one.
All right. Well, that checks the box that we need. So
it's weird. I mean, let me put it this way to you, Spencer. Have you ever thought how cool it would be to have your relationship, your marriage, the feature of a romance novel? Well,
no, I can't say I've ever thought that.
Well, maybe you're off. Maybe you're not like the rest of the people that this site is designed for. But this site is yournovel.com. And you can submit your love story and have a novel written about you and shipped to your house.
What?
Yep.
Okay, so who writes it?
Don't know. I don't know who writes it. Maybe AI writes it. It's been around since 1992.
Wow.
Yes, I said that right. 1992. This is not a new website. This seems like something that had to have gotten kicked off with AI. And when I saw it's been around since 1992, I almost fell out of my chair. Again,
that's
the
incredible.
Tagline, star in your own personalized romance novel. You can pick any one of their 50 adventure romance novels and ebooks. Beach cruises, exotic vampires, detectives, and more. You can pick a category. It is as weird as it sounds.
That is fascinating. I wonder if it's almost like an article spinner. Like they have these pre-written books. They've got 50 plus templated books already written, and they kind of just get some basic information about you and put your names in there. And instead of meeting at the restaurant, they met at the golf course.
Yep.
Based on your story or whatever. I wonder if that's kind of what it is.
They they average 170 pages long. The novels do, the romance novels. They also offer what's called a novella. Is that a short novel? I don't know.
Yeah, like a short novel.
Yep. Okay. Thank you. That's about 60 pages long. You can buy them in a hardback or a softback. You can get an ebook version. I put it in the notes there, Spencer. They have a massive FAQ section. So if you have any questions about this, believe me, it's there. I'd like to call attention, if you would, to in the FAQ section there, number 23.
FAQ number 23. Do you ship to prisons?
I mean, when you are talking about a well-built-out FAQ page, you really haven't covered all the topics until you address whether or not your product can make it in and out of prison or not.
They strongly suggest you contact the prison first to confirm that they accept deliveries and to note any special regulations the prison might have. So maybe. They're going to try.
I mean, this is so funny and so bizarre. And by the way, I think I looked it up. It's like a DR30 or something. It hardly gets any traffic. It ranks for like 200 keywords. What did I put down? Yeah, DR31. It's like 200 key. It's like less than 200 keywords, so it's not even worth it. I don't know how much traffic it actually gets, how much business they actually get. It would appear if you peruse around the site that they get a nice spike in Valentine's Day because they talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, you kind of already touched on it a bit, which my mind got going like how interesting this concept could be when you bring in the world of AI and you creatively come up with prompts and you have an intake form that is matched with specialized prompts that doesn't just replace words like golf course. We don't know if that's what they do, but actually, man, I wonder what ChatGPT, I wonder what it could do by writing some really complex books, basically based on someone's story.
I'm sorry. I see this question. No, I'm reading the FAQs, and I don't even know if I want to bring it up on the podcast, but I'll just read the question. What is the difference between the wild and mild versions of your books? Right? And you can read the FAQ about, okay, it's just, you can, wild or mild is an option apparently. So I could see that this would be potentially a very funny gift to either a spouse, surprise a spouse with, or some other couple the family, parents or something.
I don't know. Sorry. I can't think of getting this for my parents after I just read the FAQ that you referenced.
I would keep it mild. For sure. So, Good find. That's all I gotta say.
I do think there's profitability here. I mean, I can't imagine everyone, but I can imagine a lot of people finding this to be either a gag gift, by the way.
Exactly.
But I imagine there's a slice of the population that would be really into this.
Yeah.
Not as a gag gift, but still.
Right. And hey, we've seen all kinds of businesses that are essentially gag gifts, right?
Yeah.
Explode and do really, really well. And
this is like a personalized gag gift. That's what takes it up a notch. Like there's gag gifts that we've talked about, but this is like super personalized.
Yeah, this is interesting. And so, I wonder if they're going to do anything to update, for the AI generation here, as you mentioned. I look at the covers that are sort of scrolling through here, and you get the pictures of them, Another Day in Paradise.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, it's hilarious.
I was sharing this with Caitlin, my business partner, this morning as I was preparing for this, and she was just busting up over all the cover photos.
Yeah.
They're terrible.
Oh man. Yeah, it's terrible. So anyways, if anybody wants to check this out, yournovel.com. Maybe not making a lot of money right now, but gosh, with the history since 1992, isn't this website existed before Amazon.com? Weren't they created in 94?
This website existed before the internet existed, I think. I mean, somehow this website was here before the internet was started.
This is what started it all.
This is it. This is the first website on the internet.
This was it. Oh, man.
Hey, no, just final thought on it. All joking aside, we talk about this here and there, we've been doing this news episode long enough now to where I don't remember where we talked about, but this is exactly the type of site we talk about where someone needs to email them, somehow get in touch with them and say, can I buy this off of you? Can I take your revenue? Can I give you a fair multiple for it? And can I buy this? Because what an SEO could do for this, I mean, I think there's potential.
Yeah, I agree. So maybe somebody can do that. They've got a contact page.
If they buy this, can they enter this into the AI contest and win $2,500?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, if they do that and grow it, it's all theirs.
Dang it! Maybe I'll have to jump in on this. Maybe I'll have to.
That's right. You got to act fast.
Oh boy, yeah, I'd have to get this deal closed pretty quick.
Oh man,
no, I don't know if I can stomach some of the stuff we'd be putting out though.
That's what I always love about not looking at your website really before we hit record. Like I saw the domain, but I try not to look at it because that one got me. There was a couple of good FAQs and other things that's a good website.
Glad
Thanks for the laugh,
this
Jared.
week.
Appreciate it.
I found a good
you
one,
did a good job.
And I found that one on my own. No,
yeah, that's
I know.
that's saying something.
I was in a Panera this morning scrambling to try to find something. I had to close my laptop though because I was in a public place. I felt a little awkward.
Okay. Well, thank you for everybody that stuck around the full hour of the podcast here, listening to the news and the weird niche sites and everything in between. Really appreciate you sticking around. As usual, if you've enjoyed the podcast, we'd love a rating or review. You can, go to any place that you download and listen to podcasts and leave a rating or a review. That'd be much appreciated. And if you are interested in either joining or just following along with the couple of challenges that I proposed, again, you can just go to community.nichepursuits.com. And again, if you're just interested in seeing what others are doing, that's the place to check it out or join it. We'd love to have you. So, that's pretty much a wrap. Jared, any final thoughts here?
Just make sure you're on the email list for the newsletter. We, release other podcast interviews every Wednesday. And that's where you get notified about those. We had a great one go live this week with Sarah. But every week the news is on Friday, but the interviews are on Wednesdays.
Yep, absolutely. Lots of great content coming out each and every week. So thank you, everybody, and I hope you have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.
Today's episode is sponsored by Search Intelligence. Here's a short clip of Ferry from Search Intelligence showing you how their agency built digital PR links to a client's website.
What a crazy campaign. How to Sleep on Your Back. This campaign got us links in Huffington Post, Glamour magazine, Mirror, and lots of other great news publications. Let me show you how we've done it. It was so simple. Our sleep client provided us with expert commentary about how to train yourself to fall asleep on your back. They also gave advice on why it's best to sleep on your back. Once we've had this information, we went to Muckrack and searched for journalists that consistently write about sleep and well-being. We've sent these journalists the advice provided by the client, and within one day the links started flowing in. Glamour magazine, a DR81 website, picked it up. Huffington Post, DR88, Mirror UK, DR90, a massive avalanche of links blasted to our client's website with this simple yet effective campaign about how to sleep on your back. I hope this inspires, and I hope you'll use this technique to land massive links to your or your client's website.
Thanks for joining us today on the podcast. Just a final reminder that it was brought to you by Search Intelligence. And if you're looking for link building PR campaigns for your website, just head over to search-intelligence.co.uk and get in touch with them today. Cheers.